standing. So one of the reasons for starting standing is that standing somehow manages to stretch you more than if you're sitting. I mean, lying down is quite good as well, but it's cold, and that's the other reason for starting to standing. So just so easy to lift and roll the shoulders. That opens the energy pathways up to the head. And then just lift the toes. Place the toes down. And then I'm very aware of your shoulders. So just bring the hands, the fingertips to the collarbones. And as you breathe in, just open and breathing out. And then just explore circling the elbows. They don't have to touch. The aim would be to touch. Just go to where you're comfortable. And then reverse the elbows backwards. And then just release. Lift and roll the shoulders again. Just hug. Come forward and just gently sway from side to side. And then standing up, have the other arm on top and hug. Just come forward again. And then just release, lift, roll the shoulders. And so then hands on the hips for our hula hoop. Swirling one way. If your hula hoop is more exaggerated, it's tonifying for the liver. So you can just stretch it and feel that, as well as the hips. And then just swirl the hips the other way. And just come to a standstill. Bring the feet a little bit closer together, hands down to support your weight, and circle the knees one way. And then circle the knees the other way. And then roll up. And then the feet and the ankles. So lift one heel and just circle. It's really the ankle, but you're doing the knee as well. One way. And then the other way. Just release. And then again the other foot, heel up, just circle one way. I'm clicking.
So am I. Must be doing some good then.
And then the other way. I wonder, you talk about the atmosphere, and I do think that the cold weather has quite an impact on our joints.
Oh, it does, definitely.
And then just release back down again. And then just sway from side to side, so all energies. And start to slow it down. And then come to stand still, reset your pose. Hands at the heart centre. Circle the hands up. Clasp, reverse. And breathing out, just lower the hands back down again. And then just circle the hands up to where it works for you. Clasp and reverse. Stretch and then breathing out. Lower the hands. And last time. Circle up. Reverse. Before we bring the hands down, just a slight lateral stretch to one side. Centre. Lateral stretch to the other side. Centre. And then just lower the hands. Lift and roll the shoulders. Hands on the waist, so we're opening the lungs. Turn to look over one shoulder or turn to look towards the side. Come back to the centre and then turn to look over the other shoulder or turn to look to the other side. And then come back to the centre. Abdominal control, maybe feet a little bit apart. Soften the knees and you'll feel the lower abdominal muscles engage. And then breathing in, coming to centre. Drop the hands, lift and roll the shoulders and clasp the hands behind you, opening into the top of the shoulder joint. Cross the lungs, across the heart. So this stretch is brilliant for the lungs, but it's also brilliant for very safely stretching the muscle for the heart. And then just very gently release. And just circle the wrists one way. And then circle the wrists the other way. Just shake your fingers out. And then just join fingers and just go one way and then the other way. Just release. So this is the shoulders, but I'm finding it very difficult to explain. So I'm going to get in, you're almost plucking an apple from the tree, and then you're just swirling down. So it's almost like an S, plucking the apple from the tree, and then just bringing the hand down. You can go up one way as you pluck. If you want to, you can go around the other way. It's almost like a figure of 8. And you don't have to stretch right up. If your arm is stiff, you can only go a little bit up. And then release. And then do the same on the other side. So you're almost swirling up and swirling down. Almost you lead with the elbow to make the arm ascent easier. Lift and roll the shoulders. So just to reiterate again, when you've got stiff joints, both either at the hips or at the shoulder joint, it sometimes makes it easier to bring say either the elbow in or the leg in, can't even balance, bring the leg in to go out and in to come out.
Yeah, it doesn't strain on
Doesn't
the
strain.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you're bent, so as you go in, you only open out as little as much as it works for you. Because if you go straight out, that's really quite a big weight for your arm to kind of cope with. So it's that softness. It's quite elegant as well, to come in, to go out. And then you minimise damage. It's when people make very sudden movements like cricket, where you're throwing the ball and you've gone and extended, and then you've injured yourself. It's like, oh dear, well, this tries it. So, and then just are flying. So these are all joints being moved. As little as much as you want. So just putting weight onto the body, which is helpful. And in the same way, use it or lose it for the body. I was very surprised to learn that a while ago that some time ago that the teeth need to be used. If you don't chew and use your teeth as they were meant to be used, they become brittle. Because you need the slight press to activate in the socket for the blood flow, which is like...
It's the same like using your body for your bones, isn't it, really?
Yes.
Weight bearing for your
Weight bearing
bones.
for the bones.
Same thing, yeah.
But you don't think of your teeth.
No.
And then just lift and roll your shoulders. And in the same way that all the energy meridians go through the body, but going through the body, they go through the teeth. So each tooth is allocated an organ, which I went through last night, but the back teeth, the back top, number 8, top and bottom of the heart, which is interesting. So that would be your wisdom teeth, wouldn't it? And then just very, very gently bring the hands to the heart centre. We're going to do some half salutes, soften the knees. Stretch up to where it works for you, palms together. You can look up, but only if that works for your neck. Palms through the centre. Slide the hands down, half lift. Breathing out, bend in. Breathing in, half lift. Stay here as you breathe out. Breathing in, press the feet down and roll up to standing. Hands up, and then just sprinkle the wrists down. Hands together at the heart centre, softening the knees. Stretch up, palms together. Come back down through the heart centre. Slide the hands onto the shins. Half lift. Breathing out, soften in. Half lift. Stay here as you breathe out. Breathing in, soften the knees, press the feet down and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Stretching up. And then just sprinkle hands down. Step the right foot over the left. That's a balance tester. Arms up. Hold your, I'm holding my left wrist with my right hand. And just come, that's another crack. Go over to the side.
Is that you or the floor?
And then from the other side. Just explore which side works. Good. And then just lower and just move the feet. And then left foot over the right. I mean, that's a balance test, just to do that. And then just raise up, so I don't know which way around I am. Whichever way feels good, and then just go one side, and then the other side, and then just lower the hands. And then just make it easier, hands up, thumbs together, and then just sway from side to side. So you really are stretching out the intercostal muscles, among other things, which is helpful for your lungs. And then just release. So we often come down to the ground and tap our legs and brush our legs. But this exercise is mad. You can get someone to do it for you even better. But when you tap your ribs and almost tap at the back, you're loosening the muscles, the intercostal muscles, and it makes breathing easier. So if you've had a bug or you're restricted in your breathing, particularly if you get someone to do it, it does look mad, I do agree that, and you can't get to your back easily. But just tapping can increase lung capacity, which is what you need if you've got, as I said, suffered from some bug. So, I mean, I know that, yes, it looks mad, but it is incredibly helpful. And I'm sure I've cited before, in a yoga class, Salute to the Sun, we did that using one breath per pose. We each tapped each other on the back for about 10 minutes and then did Salute to the Sun again, and all of us managed the entire sequence on one breath.
Amazing, yeah.
So it just shows how you can loosen up your back. And as I say, I think parents of children with cystic fibrosis.
Yeah, I was just going to say, cystic fibrosis is they have to do it several times a day, don't they, to release everything.
To clear out the lungs. So yes, you can do that at home. So I think it's just quite nice. It just taps and releases, and
nice.
just a little bit of self-care. So the other point of self-care, I don't know whether you want to sit down or whether you're happy to stand. So this is from the Himalayan Institute, and I love this. It's soothing the face, so easy. Take your thumbs and just place the thumbs to the centre of the forehead, and then just smooth outwards. And coming off, your fingers will naturally come off at the brow, the temples of the ears. And then start again at the centre, just smooth across. Just a couple more times, just really smoothing your forehead. It's helpful to smoothing how you feel. It's a part of a facelift routine.
Help the wrinkles.
Helps the wrinkles. Kind of starts to, any congestion around the eyes is helpful. And then from there, that's my favourite at the top, just drop your thumbs to either side of your nose and do the same again. So you're going across your cheekbones and then up. And that, again, wonderful for the sinuses. Really smoothing, it's a slightly uplifting for the face, everything goes upwards. You've got lots of acupressure points along either side of the nose, all the way down that central zone. So this is really helpful, just to decongest the face, anything, toxins, and puffiness in the tissues, toning. And then you can just drop a little bit further, almost to the chin, but you can go down in stages and just, again, almost go along the jawline and up, lifting up. So this is such a simple thing to do. The jaw can carry a lot of tension. You might want to linger base up by the ears, because that is a point there for the ears and the eyes. And then take your fingers, I've got my thumb and my second finger, but it doesn't matter, just to be comfortable, and just very gently roll your eyebrow from the inside, just pinch and let go or roll it, and then just move along the eyebrow. You've got lots of little points along the eyebrow. You'll feel there was little dents under the skin, and then start again.
Let's do that in Indian head massage.
Did you? It kind of, you've got to do it to experience it. It really, almost roll it, pinch and roll. So here, the expert here, roll, pinch and roll up. It's just, again, if you've got hooded eyes, which I have a little bit, you can, it's really nice, quite nice if you've got a headache. And then just And then if there's congestion in the system, you've got to be very gentle, of course, but you can just very gently tap or just almost slightly circle underneath the eyes. There's a point there, almost below the centre of the eye, and you can just tap all the way along the bone of the eye socket.
Sort of sinuses.
I'm told sinuses here. So just very, very, very lightly, just tap and release. Obviously under the eye, the skin tissue is very delicate. And then the other thing to do, which I think is lovely, and there are lots of points on the ears behind the under the jaw, behind the ears to massage. There's an acupressure point above the ear. But the other thing is that if you stick your fingers in your ears, if your nail is to the front, at the back of the pads of your fingers is where the vagus nerve comes. So just sticking your fingers in your ears, mad as it seems, and just opening the ear and resting your fingers, the pad of the finger towards the back of the head, activates the vagus nerve, which is calming for the nervous system. But apparently you can also, if you don't want to bother to do that, just literally getting hold of your ears and pulling them down and out is very helpful for your overall health. And I always thought the top of the ear was the head, but it's not, it's the bottom, it's like a fetus, the bottom of the head. The bottom of the body is the head is the bottom of the ear, so it's like imagine an upside down fetus. And just pulling the ears out, again, is really helpful. Mad. And children with autism have difficulty with, they're often assumed to be hard of hearing when they're not, and just their brain picks up a different hearing resonance. And you can get hearing, they're not aids at all, they are little things with a hole in them that just stick inside the ear so you can hear. But they're called flare audio apparently. It's just very soft plastic with a hole in it. It opens, it keeps the ear, I'm not being technical here, but the ear hole open, and it helps basically to calm them down, but it also helps, that would do it with anybody, but it also helps on the resonance, so that it calms their system down and they hear better. It's very helpful, and so I just find that fascinating. So just if we can bear to come down to the mat. Do you want to have legs out in front? And yeah, I think we're both the same, aren't we?
Let's see how I go, yeah.
Legs out in front, just basically to move the feet and toes again and just rub the boost our circulation. So balancing the legs is just getting stuff moving, massaging, passing, whatever you want to do is really helpful. Toes away, toes up a couple of times, getting into the circulation. Circle the ankle one way, and then circle the ankle the other way. And just soles of the feet vaguely together. Any point you want to, just use your thumbs to massage. Any point you want to focus on.
You say somewhere that you.
What's general stiffness, or do you just have to?
Well,
go into
it's
the bits?
There's nothing general apart from generally being all over the foot, you know.
Okay.
So it's just generally rubbing everything and just getting all the sort of different pressure points moving is helpful. Yeah.
So love your feet is very helpful. Just to massage where it feels nice. You're opening your hips here, and it's the lower lymphatic system as well.
Yeah.
But blood flow to the lower abdominal area, and you need that for optimal oxygen in the blood flow to the lower abdominal organs, and it's the elimination process, so the flow of life really. And then just bring the knees up, and we're going to come to lying. Legs out in front, unusually. Palms down alongside you, toes up. And breathing in, raise the right arm. You can keep it bent at the elbow. Rest the back of the hand on the ground, extending the right heel. And breathing out, turn the head to the left. Just stay for an in and an out breath. If you want to stretch your right arm out, and you've got the capacity to do that, stretch it out. And then just very gently lower the right arm back down alongside you. And then when you're ready, just snake up the left arm, extend the left heel. Breathing out, turn your head to the right. Breathing in, extend, if you've got the capacity, your left arm and your left foot. Really stretch out the left side. And then when you're ready to, as you breathe out, lower the arm and just relax the leg. Hug the left knee into the chest. Just circle the left knee a couple of times in one direction, so we're looking at the hips again. And circle the left knee in the opposite direction. And then just roll the whole body over to the right. Your left foot can rest on the right leg. Your knee might come to the ground, it might not. Your left hand goes on the left waist, right hand goes somewhere on the outer left thigh. Just take a couple of breaths here. You can look up at the ceiling or to the side. And very gently roll onto your back again. Hug the left knee into the chest, and then place the left foot on the floor and slide the left foot away. And then hug the right knee into the chest. Circle the right knee a few times in one direction. And then circle the right knee a few times in the other direction. And then roll the entire body to the left. Right hand on the waist. Left hand on the outer right thigh. Again, just relax. Just stretching the body out. And then just when you're ready, roll back onto your back. Hug the right knee into the chest. Hug the left knee into the chest. Rock from side to side, both knees hugged into the chest. And then circle both knees in one direction. So this is all on the hip joint, lower back. And then circle both knees in the opposite direction. And then hugging the knees into the chest. As you breathe in, raise the left arm and the left leg. You can extend the left heel. The left arm can be bent if that's easier for your shoulders. And then when you're ready and you next breathe out, hug the left knee into the chest. On the right side, breathing in, extend the right arm, right leg. And when you're ready, breathe out, hugging into the chest. And once more to each side in your own breath pattern. Left side. And then right side. And then both knees away to arm's length. Both knees hugging. Just do that a few times. And then very gently, think about supporting the legs underneath to bring one foot and then the other back down to the earth. Palms down and a couple of pelvic tilts. You're just mobilising the lower back. And then when you next flatten the back to the ground, you can actually lift the bottom up a little bit. You might not need to do it a lot. And then breathing out, just lower back down to the ground. A couple of pelvic tilts. And then once more, pressing the feet down, lifting the bottom up. Strengthening the back, and then just lower down. A couple of pelvic tilts. And then just clasp the hands under the head, elbows out, but if that's too much, then just bring the elbows in a little bit. And breathing out, this lower abdominal control, you can lift your head up off the ground, keeping the lower back to the ground. You're not going to go very far, and then breathing out, just release back down to the earth. And take a breath in and out. So you're engaging your core here, flattening the back to the ground, lifting up a little bit, and then just releasing it back down again. And then just slide the hands out from under the back of the head. And then just release the hands back down onto the floor. And hug the left knee into the chest, open the left knee to the side and rest the left ankle on top of the right leg. Upside down pigeon, figure of four. The hands can be on the floor, palms down, or they can be resting on the abdomen. And just sway both knees from side to side. So this is the piriformis muscle. It can be very much present on the outside of your thigh, for the hips, stiff hips, but also lower back as well. And then just hug the left knee into the chest. Really enjoy that hugging in. And then place the left foot on the floor. Same with the right side, to hug the right knee into the chest. Open the knee to the right, resting the right ankle on top of the left thigh. Palms down or on the abdomen, and just sway from side to side. So you're upside down pigeon. Figure of four. Again, you've got the lower lymph aspect here. with the one side open at a time, hips open a little bit. And then just hug the right knee into the chest, and then hug the left knee into the chest. And just gently rock from side to side. And you can rock actually almost over to the floor, let your back of your upper arm support you. But how much you roll is up to you. And on the subject of acupressure points, you'll feel some points being accessed to the back of the head. So you're giving your head a massage as well as your lower back on top of the bottom. I meant to say for stiffness, also omega-3, cod liver oil type things can be helpful, olive oil.
We still take that fish oil. Do you remember the one I recommended for the eyes?
Well, you have to tell me again what it is.
I think we got it, didn't we?
I did, I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it's omega 3, 5 or something.
Okay.
I'll send you the link on it, because that's really good.
It's just, I think as we get older, our systems perhaps don't work quite so efficiently, they slack up a bit.
Yeah.
So, and again, weather doesn't, this cold weather doesn't help.
Yes, combination, isn't it?
And then just very gently, we're going to come to a seated position, so however that works for you. Yogically, you might like to move over to the right and come up to a seated position gradually. So right is away from the heart, that's why they say that. And we did the dancer's pose yesterday, but on the floor. But just really rubbing here and perhaps bending one leg at a time. It's that big bone there, it's a thigh bone, is where there's a high proliferation of manufactured white blood cells. So it's to do with your immune system. One side rubbing and then perhaps the other side. And I think you get them around here as well, breastbone. But there's a big proliferation there. And then just turn slightly to one side. Come to the centre and turn slightly to the other side. Come back to the centre and just slide your hands down. You can have your legs together or just slightly apart. Slide hands down, forward bend, so you're leading with your chest and then just relaxing over. You can hold your big toes if you've got long arms, otherwise just hold anywhere on the legs. So coming forward is calming for the nervous system. It activates the vagus nerve and it's good for anxiety. Depression is something else, and for that you need to lift up at the heart centre. But this is just stress, everyday living, anxiety and stress. And then just coming to sit up and coming into a comfortable position. That can be legs out. And I just want to have a nod to the eyes because they can, they're a muscle like anything else in the body and they can be held by movement. So this is just a very simple, head still, look up to the top of your head as if you were imagining you were looking to your 12 o'clock. And then come through the centre of your imaginary clock and look to the bottom, which is 6 o'clock. Come to the centre and go to 3 o'clock. Come to the centre and go to 9 o'clock. Come to the centre. Go back up to 12 o'clock and go round smoothly clockwise and notice where your eyes jump. So mine tend to jump between 20 past, 25 past, I just seem to jerk. So we've all got different points, of course. It's where the eyes aren't really being used, so it's very helpful to. And then when you get up to 12 o'clock, go round the other way. And then just rub your hands together. It's called palming, quite soothing to the eyes when you've done an eye exercise. And when they're warm, just place your hands over your closed eyes and then open your eyes and just remove your hands just to soothe the eyes. So in Ayurveda, they use rose water for cleansing the eyes, for anti-cataracts, which is the cloudiness is the toxins of age, sometimes medication and diet. Castor oil. But the other thing that an Ayurveda guru told me, which I hadn't thought of, it's almost like an Egyptian thing as well. You see girls with this beautiful pictures, hieroglyphs, beautiful eye makeup, and it's charcoal, and charcoal, carbon, attracts, absorbs toxins.
Maybe that's why they
So
originally used
apparently
it.
that's why they originally used it.
Egyptians, because they knew all that sort of stuff, didn't they?
Preserve their eyes. So charcoal.
That's where it originally came from.
Apparently it's so.
Interesting, yeah.
Because I said, what else? And they said, no, you use eye cream. I said, well, how's makeup going to help? This is because it's cold. So just stepping the breath in. So this increases lung capacity. It was something that my sister-in-law had at Royal Brompton, interestingly enough, from yoga, when she was there. And you just breathe in a little bit, breathe in a bit more, breathe in a bit more. So you're like blowing a balloon up, and then just breathing out through the nose and the mouth. It's a way of stretching the lungs from the inside. Little bit, up to the top. And stretch, because we lose lung capacity, just the muscles, and as we go over, we lose it. So, and then the bit I don't like, which is the reverse of that, breathe in all in one go and then step it out. Breathe out a little bit, and then breathe in one go. Breathe a little bit, and then just come to bring the hands to the heart, chin to chest. Have a thought for the day, set your intention, whatever that might be, and then take a bow for yourself. Thank you.